So yeah, this is Team Eco Reviews. The second time we're doing this, or third time, depending on what order Asima decides this to be in compared to the ESA one. And we will be reviewing technically two world records, maybe another one as well, with Upsil updating the NTA HYDRUS world record 2 times in a row. We will be looking at the older one, and then the newer one as well to see the optimizations, which are probably minimal, but it's still cool to look at. I'm Tic Tac, the moderator of the server and speedrunning community, and with me today is Jaikhay, a new guest. Hello, Jaikhay.
Yeah. Hello.
Also,
And I'm the world record holder of a few hard time attack individual levels. So
yeah, and I think we will
yeah.
actually be looking at one of those as well. But without too much further explanation, let's get right into the older NTA HYDRUS. You see it all right on your Discord, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Yep.
So this is an update compared to Plush's time, which stood for quite long, and I'm mostly interested. Okay, starting up with the jump right away. It seems like honestly, I don't know, JK, if that's too different. That looked mostly like our setup, but with a jump instead of waiting.
Oh yeah. Odawara did the jump, I think.
Jump up.
Stream's lagging behind a bit.
Whoa! Dude. That was so sick. Did you see
Hang
that?
on.
Is it lagging behind? I'm sorry.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm just gonna play this again because that was so cool.
Alright.
So basically, after this whole setup, instead of getting up the body, Sora just runs up there.
Stabbing the horn instead.
Yeah, and the horn instead of all the other things. I'm not sure if that makes too much of a difference. I guess he can save on some of the distance. But the most cool thing was the first step where he just ran around. I wonder if that's a theme he's doing in general. Because usually if you're like doing the strategy like everyone used to, you would get that little shake when you get up on HYDRUS, and I guess he avoided that one by doing this, which is very cool.
Yeah. But even with the... Yeah, I don't know. But the I don't know if the stabbing the horn is probably a little optimization because HYDRUS doesn't bob its head as much.
Yeah, maybe. Actually,
Because I did that accidentally and it felt faster.
whenever I talked to Plush about this, he mentioned that stabbing the horn is probably slower, actually.
Oh.
Or maybe it's only about the subsequent stabs. Maybe one is just fine. Let me look at this again, like, for comparison's sake. But the first stab is definitely very interesting. I might try that in HTA, actually. Just because we get to stab earlier that way. Yeah, I guess you're right. It looked a little faster.
I guess that's because Wanderer's positioned a bit further back.
Yeah,
so the head doesn't have to go down as much in order for him to disconnect from the grab.
Yeah, as well as if we like actually... The problem when stabbing the horn is usually that you have to position yourself farther away. But if we look at this in like slow motion, he's like in the perfect position after that horn stab. It's definitely intentional to save time when stabbing. Since this is about the closest you can be to HYDRUS without the horn mattering.
Right.
He cuts the stabs real short. Let's actually look at the update, because I wonder if he improved on the first stab as well, which is probably the most interesting one. End of record. Okay, updated it. Let's watch this one. This is the current world record, and it's like almost 0.2 of a second faster.
69, nice.
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 Okay, again the jump. I think we gotta compare like the timing on that, because it doesn't feel any different. He also stops at 8. Okay, don't tell me that.
Okay, so they didn't do it that time.
Don't tell me it wasn't a whoa.
Stabbing the horn again, I think it might be intentional.
Yeah, for sure, but that... I think what actually made this faster, which is very interesting, is that the second jump step looked like insanely optimized. Like, right after the first one, it's like instant. Wow.
Yeah. And then the shock, which is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, right? If you could get all the jump steps as fast as the second one right there, you could probably shave off another half a second or so. Wow. Still insanely fast. Jesus.
Yeah, I think if you avoid all of them somehow, then it could get pretty
Now, what I'm
optimized.
Sure. What I'm actually interested in is the stab timing compared between the two. The first one was like just something to try or not. Okay, this one hit at like 29.16. Let's compare. That second earlier one hits any faster. Oops, let's still slow down. So remember, I paused at 29.16. I assume it's probably about the same. With a bit more potential in the first one. Okay, I mean, if you're correcting for my like reaction time, it's really about the same. But the first one looks like he also is a bit slow on the stab, but in between. For running up like that, you could probably instantly jump step, even though that's hard. But if you just run off the thing and stab instantly, definitely a potential time save for future runs, but insane. Very cool.
I got all of the jump stabs in mine without getting a shock. It does save time, but I don't know if the shock is something which is a consequence of getting that second stab so fast.
Wait, did he actually get shocked?
A little bit, yeah.
Didn't even notice that.
Wanda puts his hand over his face.
Oh, you mean like the little delays after the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like 2 delays. Wow. But the second one was like so closely like timed as well. Something to consider for sure.
Now I'm curious about the setup that Stormglad and Odawara do in NTA.
Yeah, because the Stormglad one is
they
definitely
take a different.
Yeah. Let me look
They
at
take
that.
a different setup.
Let me look at that real quick. As well as Stormglad's HTA. Both of them are interesting. I'm gonna look at Storm's NTA. Storm swims to the left at first, but then to the right. Like a completely different one. But he also only stops at like 10 seconds. I'm not sure. It seems like a completely different positioning because HYDRUS is going into a different angle as well. So remember 19 seconds. It might 29 seconds. It might not be comparable though because this is without a pro. But honestly, considering the Pro might be faster. And also no delays here.
I mean, sorry?
Also no delays on the stabbing here, like you mentioned.
No.
Whoops. Compilation.
But yeah, I don't know if that would be a time save on PS4 Pro
Someone's got to try
if you
it
do
out.
that setup.
Actually, let me look at HTA as well, because I really, really like that setup. And it looked faster. It might not be feasible for NTA because he did that specifically to skip on some like stab shakes, if you know what I mean, this one. But here he starts at 1 second instantly but goes forward.
Yeah, this is mostly the setup that we know, but he goes forward a bit further.
Yeah, he goes further. And that's the thing, when I looked at that, it seemed faster than any other setup we do right now. It's weird. Remember 29? How about 28?
Oh.
But the thing is, he does this intentionally so HYDRUS doesn't bop the head. To get the 3 stabs out and then to not have to kill the horn.
But if that's a 28 on 30 FPS.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right. That was definitely a lot faster than the other one.
There's things to consider. I'm not sure if that was intentional to just trigger the thing. But swimming instantly and then for 10 seconds, more or less like we do. But differently. Might be something to consider because the turn is way earlier than what usually would happen for like NTA. Yeah, I feel like HYDRUS still has some way to go. Interesting thing.
Of course, that could be sub 40 on 60.
Yep. And I'm actually curious, like, since HYDRUS isn't head bopping, if you could just cycle stab there or something insanely crazy.
I have no idea.
Since,
but
you know,
yeah.
jump stabs are usually slower
But
than the
anyway.
other ones as well.
But anyway, Plush's record stood for a very long time, and now it's been beaten, which is very, very nice to see.
Yep, very impressive. 2 years
Further
ago.
optimization.
Set on the 30th of October 2018. Damn. The record is older than I remember it to be. It was probably the oldest to still stand, among others.
I'm pretty sure HYDRUS is the longest.
Oh, just about.
Yeah. But HYDRUS is like the second longest.
I mean, now it's just HYDRUS because every other one was more recent. Bro. So slow. Anyway, GG Upsil, very, very impressive, and I'm sure there will be even more optimizations with Udavara and Upsil just going for all the crazy stuff.
I wish I was good enough to optimize the NTA as well.
Yeah, it's tough, especially with.
I mean, I could grind it, but it's just way too optimized already.
Yeah, that would actually be now, I feel like, a good time to redo that little compilation video HYDRUS once made. It was basically a community boss rush stitched together. As well as the HTA, honestly. Like, I feel like most of the old OG records are beaten by now. Besides Kuro, I
All the
guess.
non-Stormcloud ones. Except for Barber.
I mean,
I'm trying to beat the Gaius, but
yeah, the Gaius has a lot of potential, but I feel like compared to the OG, the Kuro, Celosia were probably the only two ones left. Oh, well, I guess also slower, but I'm not sure if that's really comparable compared to the OG.
oh, I'm close on the Dirge for beating the OG.
And that's with a completely different setup because I'm talking about the PS3 ones, which is very interesting about. Yeah, no worries, Aiden. We have like one more thing to talk about, which is Jaikhay's unnoticed record for some reason, which is very impressive. I saw it already. Obviously, Jaikhay made the run, so I'm gonna handle it just like that. I'm gonna play it once and let that sink in, and then analyze over it for a little bit. Because it's one of the more impressive HTA records as of recently. It's so good. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just say anything that I've noticed compared to my shitty record. So, first of all, you might have noticed that the first stab was cancelled, which is something that I wasn't able to do consistently at all. Making 4 stabs before the shake actually possible, which is the big advantage first of all. That already would beat my record, but that's not even enough. Because here, all the stabs are cycle stabs, besides 1, 2, 3... But like, this one that isn't a cycle stab... Well, 2 I guess. Not only does it get shaken out of, Jaikhay gets a stab mid-shake. Which is so impressive because this record had all the plants where they needed to be, all the cycle stabs where they needed to be, and besides a slight little like delay at the end, which I guess I can forgive because the stab was in between the shakes, which is just insanity. Like only Hammer's finish would have been even crazier, but that's nothing to expect, I guess.
I did actually sort of see how much time that stab, how fast that stab was compared to Hammer Collabs. Because Hammer Collabs is, cooler looking and it's faster, but it was only like 1, 2 or 3 seconds slower. It wasn't too bad.
Well, the thing is, though, if you got that last stab as quickly as it gets, like, as soon as BASARAN stops shaking, you just let go and jump stab. That would have been, like, way faster than Hammer. I don't want to tell anyone to try and beat Hammer's record, but if you would do it, it would be kind of like that, get shaken out and then insta-jump stab, which would make the record way less cooler, but faster.
Which is basically Phalanx, HTA Phalanx.
Yeah, where you make the records less cooler but faster. That's where we're going to. Seriously. I had quite a few cycle stabs in mine and felt very confident with my recce. But not only that 4th stab, but also the finish of it was just way more impressive and cool. That's probably like
Well, the finish was very, you know, the finish was lucky. I was spamming the jump and attack button really fast
oh, that's how you do it,
to
right?
oh yeah, but there are moments when it just doesn't work.
Of course, but
And
thank God it'll work
yeah,
here.
my main time save was the 4 stabs before the first shake.
Yeah,
You know, that was what I was attempting to do.
yeah, I see. But I feel like without like the jump step, even if you kept it being unplanned and just did the regular step, it would probably have been slower by a second or two.
Yeah.
So you improved on top of that with the cycle steps, so that deserves to be mentioned.
And I honestly thought that Azuma would get the sub 50 first because their strategy is very promising.
Yeah, it's a very cool one, but difficult to get working, I guess. Technically, if you could
Yeah.
just jump step cancel like the TAS, you could probably go lower. But this will be very difficult to beat since. Oh, I guess it's possible with perfect cycle steps even further down the line, but at that point it's just. Yeah. Someone like Upsil or Devara or whatever would have to try it, or Hammer. They don't run HTA.
Yeah.
Hey Gucci, we just finished the like review of Upsil and Jaikhay, and I think that's about it. Any
Yeah.
final words, Jaikhay?
Um Not really. I just think it's nice to see records being broken
For sure. Oh yeah, and
because
everyone.
then
I'm sorry. Feel free, JK.
it's fine.
It's fine. Okay, everyone, for sure, make sure to watch the Team Eco Marathon starting Friday next week. It will be amazing, and I'm very, very interested in seeing what kinds of things will happen since there's so many events at once. It was so difficult to organize, so I really, really hope everyone will be as entertained as I am already excited about